Hello. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking videos lately as opposed to planting things and stuff like that. I guess because of the current situation, I just haven't been planting much and blah blah blah. But anyway, I'm digressing, I guess. Now today, the video older guests, I guess it's kind of, well, basically by older guests I'm talking about ghosts and things like that. When you buy an old place, sometimes some people kind of hang around, and different energies hang around, stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I'm very skeptical as a person. I'm not saying I don't believe in stuff like that, but I'm kind of, I have to see it to believe it type of person. And a friend of mine who knows all the stories that I'm going to relay to you said to me, "Oh, you should do a video on it because it's kind of funny." Well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's interesting. So I thought, alright, I'll do one. So, my house was built in 1890, and it's a miner's place, an old cottage. So, literally a miner built it. There's a little extension that's been added on somewhere in the 1940s, I think someone built it on. Pardon me, but in the 1890s to the early 1900s, it was a miner lived here, and he used to ride his horse into Bendigo and gold mine, and then ride back and do his thing and all that kind of stuff. So ever since then, I've kind of been talking to a lot of people and older people around the area about my place, and they've told me all the different families and what have you. And it's amazing what you find out when you get an old place: who lived there, who died there, who moved, who had kids, who didn't, who visited, all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. So let me tell you what's happened with the house. When I first moved in, like this is a few years ago now, the first incident that, I'll go through the incidents that have happened right now. I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's a ghost here or an entity or anything like that. I'll just tell you what happens, alright, sometimes. Okay, if things kind of happen every 3 or 4 months, basically, in this house. First thing that happened, I was here, went into the bathroom, washed my hands or something. I'd just come in, grabbed the towel, dried my hands, chucked the towel back on the rack, came out, went back in, and it was all, like, I know myself, right? I'm not lazy, but I'm not a slob, but I'm messy, right? So I know that when I screwed the towel up, like the towel, I would have just like chucked it back on top, right? And when I went back in there, it was all neat and folded, like perfect, like no one had touched it. I went back in 5 minutes later to grab something, and I saw it and I thought, that's weird. I'm sure I didn't leave it like that, but you know, I thought, well, maybe I did. You know, I always try and look for the alternative unless there's 100% proof there. So that happened, and I thought, oh yeah, right. And then about, I'm trying to remember the events, what happened. Oh, that's right. Someone was here, and we were in the lounge room where we are now, and I've got floorboards, like just normal exposed wood floors, and we were sitting here, literally on this couch. I went into the kitchen to grab something, and I said, oh, can you come and give me a hand? I'm trying to remember, it's a few years ago. Can you come and give me a hand? Yeah, no worries. Went in, came back out, and there's a big pool of water on the floor right where we were sitting. Now, we didn't have a drink or have anything in here, no food, no drinks or anything like that. And we both looked at each other, like she looked at me as if to say, where did that come from? So, so I said to her, well, maybe a rat ran out and peed a real lot and then ran off. So who knows? Don't know. So that's another thing. I have heard people talking in the house. I've been like asleep and just heard people having a conversation, like two women talking to each other. I couldn't discern what they were saying, but I've heard, you know, and I've woken up thinking, oh shit, someone's in the house. And so, you know how you kind of wake up and you stop breathing to listen, but they were just inaudible like mumblings to each other, and finally got up, walked around the house. Everything was locked. No one was in the house. So I don't know what that was, but maybe I was half asleep, you know, I don't know. Another time I was outside, literally just out where my bedroom is outside, and I was working away, and I heard someone tap on the window, like, you know, to tap to say come in or something. Like, literally, I really heard the tap, and I thought, I'm the only one here. Anyway, I came around, went through the house just to be on the safe side, you know, because it's not so much having a ghost here that worries me as if someone else was just sneaking around the house, you know what I mean? So I don't know what that was. That could have been a bird that came in, tapped on the window and flew out again, who knows. I have heard someone whistling around in the house before too, like I've gone to bed and I've heard someone whistling a tune, like they were working or doing something, whistling to themselves. And I remember when that happened, I just kind of woke up, heard it, and because of past events, I kind of, you know, thought, hang on, yeah, I'm awake, I'm not half asleep. And I could hear him whistling, and then I just went back to sleep thinking, oh, it's just, you know, whoever it is, it's them. And I have heard someone kind of like say my name as well once before in the house. I hope I'm not sounding like a psycho. But it was weird because I was in bed, I went to bed, and they said, Christian, and I answered, because I didn't even think. I went, yeah, what? And then I kind of thought, oh, hang on, no one's here. So that was kind of weird too. And that's basically it. There's a couple of other things I can't think, but it's kind of weird. Like I said, I keep an open mind with things. I don't disbelieve things or believe them. I have to kind of see it to believe it. I'm only relaying to you. But when you buy an old place, a lot of country places are old, so things like this can kind of happen. You know what I mean? You kind of get little weird happenings here and there, and you know, people that live in the country will often tell you, you know, things can be not weird sometimes, but just different. Like at night, you might hear different things at night in the trees, and might see things moving around. There's an explanation for all of it if you want it, but you know, it's just a bit different. Things like that are different. But other people have kind of seen things in that here too. So, and it's amazing when you talk to other people, no one mentions it. Like, things happen in my house. You don't want to seem like a, you know, a freak. But as soon as you mention it, it's amazing. You can be with other people and you say, oh, I've heard someone talking in my house, and then someone else will say, yeah, sometimes we hear someone, or things move around, or this happens, or the door opens we go to bed and we wake up in the morning and the cupboards are open, or, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things. It can happen anywhere, town, country, wherever, but it seems to be kind of prevalent in old homes. Like, you know, Australia's a young country. It's only a couple of 100 years old, but a lot of these old country homes are a good 100-year plus homes. So there's definitely a lot of people have lived in those homes over time, and I reckon that there's certain energy imprints left behind with them. So, but it's nothing harsh or anything in this house. It's always happy. Like, I always say hello and goodbye when I come and leave the house. So it's not like a negative thing. So, you know, I just thought I'd share that with you at the risk of sounding like a weird ass. But yeah, so any stories though, 'cause stuff like that really interests me, you know, like the ghost things and stuff like that. So if anyone's got any kind of similar stories, you can just post a video response beneath this video. It'll be down there somewhere, or just leave a comment down the bottom, because I'd really enjoy reading stuff like that too. That kind of supernatural stuff really fascinates me. I think it's really interesting. But yeah, that's just one of the things, I guess. Like I've said before, I did want to kind of talk about the broad spectrum of everything in the small holding, so I'm going to tell you everything that happens. Anyway, alright, I'll talk to you soon. See ya.